What is ego? Ego is most poisonous three-letter word which challenges the cooperation and being we relationships. It is nothing but a bad air around the head of a person. So the question, is ego just our sense of self? Or is it a specific aspect of life? Answer. Ego is our mental conception of self. All the greatness comes from humble beginning, from grunt work. It means you are least important person in the room until you change that with results. See, ego tells us that we need success, now it replaces action and progress. Yes, it can include all sorts of seemingly positive and negative traits like I am good at sports, I am better than other folks, I am smarter, positive, or I am looser, I am not worthy of love, I am a failure. Negative. Note actually that it's always in comparison to other people. I mean, Michael Jordan obviously knows he is good at basketball, and I can know that I am good at playing guitar or whatever, but there is no attachment to that fact. No clinging, not sure if Jordan has ego or not, just speaking generally, if someone shows up who is better than me at playing the guitar, I can simply say, wow, he's quite good at the guitar. There might even be recognition that his skill surpasses his mind, but there is no value judgment on that. There's no thinking that I am a failure because he's a better guitarist, and there's also no thinking that I am the shit because I am better than most other players. Seeing that person play guitar very well may even inspire me to practice harder, but not because I have something to prove. It would only be because his skill inspires me to want to improve my own just for the pure enjoyment of it. There's no competition. Ego is always competitive, even if it's a negative ego, like I am loser, ego will compete there too. If someone points out how you have actually got a lot of good things going on in your life, ego will find ways to say, but I suck at this, I don't have that, etc., etc. It's always finding hard to prove itself one way or another. It's also about control. Ego tries to make sense of what can't be made sense of. We put ourselves into these little boxes, because to face life without certainty can be very uncomfortable and scary. So a person who has the ego of a loser will cling to that because he's afraid to actually go out and live the life he truly wants to live. I am a loser, I am good for nothing, why even bother trying? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, but it's because going beyond that boundary would be a new experience. The same with a more positive ego. I'm better and more intelligent than most folk, for example, is also a way to box yourself, and one is afraid to admit his or her weakness. Are you going to be better than most folk when you're dying cancer? It's scary to admit our vulnerabilities and fragility. As for control, it also manifests itself in the sense that it tends to think it has more power than it really does. It tends to place demands upon life and other people, like if only my mother weren't such a bee, or when I get a girlfriend I'll be happy. It's never content in the present moment. It's always trying to impose its terms and conditions on life. It never accepts people with big egos, will usually tend to fight for these things. Actually, they will fight hard to achieve what they think they desire, and they will most certainly let people know what they think about them. The game usually comes crushing down, however, because our judgments get in the way of fulfilling relationships, and it's impossible to fully achieve the constant demands of the ego. You're seeing it now with Donald Trump. He refuses to give up. That's because his ego will not accept defeat if he's truly interested in peace. He will take a look at why he's being so stubborn and learn some humility. Life has a way of putting us in our place like this. This right now is his wake-up call. Unfortunately, some people never take it and cling stubbornly until death. Luckily, if you're a genuine seeker, you will probably learn humility well before that point anyway. Generally speaking, you can think of ego as a faulty way of viewing the world, a way which is disconnected from reality. Oftentimes it's subconscious, but it also tends to manifest itself as a specific thought pattern. The voice in your head that thinks it's you is not actually you. The real you is beyond that. Why we cling to it? Because to see the world without any sense of control or filter is scary. All relationships have problem because of ego, with spouses, with friends, with parents, and with colleagues. So what is the solution? The simple way is just saying a sorry to someone. That doesn't mean you are wrong, that just means you value the person more than being right. You prefer to save the person than being right. You prefer to save the relationship than being right. You are willing to keep your ego aside and transform that ego into humility. So let go of ego and become the best possible version of yourself.